The first red flag appeared only 3 weeks after Amara met Chike. At that time, it seemed too small to matter. Years later, it would become one of those memories she replayed over and over in her mind. The kind of memory that makes people say, I should have paid attention. Now, Amara was 29 years old and worked as a customer service supervisor for a telecommunications company in Abuja. She was intelligent, hardworking, and deeply family-oriented. Most people described her as kind, and sometimes too kind. The kind of person who gave people multiple chances. The kind of person who believed everyone deserved understanding. The kind of person who always looked for the good in others. For most of her adult life, relationships had not gone the way she hoped. Nothing dramatic, just a series of disappointments that left her wondering whether lasting love would ever happen to her. That was why meeting Chike feels different. He was charismatic, confident, and well-spoken. That type of man that could make an entire room laugh without trying too hard. When he focused his attention on someone, they felt important. And when he focused that attention on Amara, she found herself enjoying his company more than she expected. Their conversations stretched late into the night. Their chemistry felt natural. Their personalities seemed compatible. For the first time in a few months, everything appeared promising. Friends noticed how happy she was. Her sisters teased her constantly. Even her mother, who rarely approved of anyone, quickly admitted she liked him. Amara allowed herself to believe she had finally found someone special. Then the little incidents started. The first involved a dinner date. Chike arrived nearly 2 hours late because he lost track of time with his friends. He apologized repeatedly. He seemed genuinely sorry. Amara accepted the apology. The explanation felt reasonable. A few weeks later, it happened again. The pattern became impossible to ignore. But every time she raised concerns, there was always a convincing explanation. A difficult client, an unexpected traffic, a family issue, a forgotten meeting. The explanation sounded believable, at least individually. Still, Amara told herself not to overreact. After all, he treated her well in other ways. Nobody is perfect. That phrase became her favorite defense. Over time, more warning signs appeared. The kind of things people often dismiss because they don't seem serious enough on their own. She noticed how quickly Chike became defensive whenever anyone questioned him. Oh, she noticed how frequently he blamed others for his problems. Bosses, friends, family members, former partners. It's like there was always someone else responsible. It's rarely him. And then one evening, while driving home after dinner, Chike spent nearly 30 minutes complaining about an old friend who had stopped speaking to him. As he told the story, Amara noticed something unusual. Every conflict in his life seemed to have the same ending. He was always the victim. Everyone else was always wrong. That observation lingered in her mind long after the conversation ended, but she pushed it away. Nobody sees themselves perfectly. Maybe she was being too critical. So months passed, the relationship deepened. The emotional investment grew stronger. And as often happens, the more invested she became, the harder it became to evaluate the relationship objectively. Then came another red flag, a bigger one that genuinely unsettled her. It happened during a gathering with friends. A simple disagreement emerged about a trivial topic. Nothing serious at all. Nothing even worth remembering, except for the way Chike reacted. His tone changed instantly. His body language stiffened. His frustrations became visible, and the conversation ended awkwardly. The atmosphere shifted and everyone noticed, including Amara. Later that night, she mentioned it gently. His response surprised her. Instead of reflecting on the situation, he became irritated, defensive, and dismissive. By the end of the conversation, she found herself apologizing even though she wasn't entirely sure what she had done wrong. That moment bothered her, not because of the disagreement itself, but because she left feeling confused. The feeling returned several times over the following year. Whenever concerns were raised, the discussion somehow shifted. The focus moved away from the original issue. Instead, attention turned towards Amara's reaction, her timing, her tone, her expectations. Gradually, she began questioning herself more than the situation. And that is often how denial grows. Not all at once, slowly, quietly, one compromise at a time. By the second year, several people around her had started noticing things she preferred not to acknowledge. Her younger sister was the first to say it openly. One afternoon, while helping prepare food for a family event, she asked a question Amara didn't appreciate. Are you actually happy, or are you trying very hard to be happy? The question irritated her immediately, not because it was unfair, but it was uncomfortable. She defended Chike, explained his strengths, explained his pressures, explained his struggles, explained why people misunderstood him. And by the end of the conversation, she felt satisfied with her defense. Later that night, the question returned. Are you actually happy? She didn't like how difficult it was to answer. The most painful red flag appeared shortly after. By then, marriage conversations had become more frequent. Their relationship was serious. Future plans were being discussed. Families had met. Expectations were growing. Yet, something remained unclear. Consistency. Promises were made. Plans were discussed. Timelines were suggested, then quietly postponed. Again, whenever she requested clarity, she received reassurance instead of action, future promises instead of present commitment. And because she desperately wanted the relationship to work, she accepted those promises. So months turned into years. The gap between words and actions widened. Still, she stayed, partly because she loved him, partly because she feared starting over, and partly because she had invested so much already. One of the most difficult truths about relationship is that the longer we invest in something, the harder it becomes to walk away. Not because things are improving, because living forces us to admit uncomfortable realities. Then came the moments that changed everything. Not a dramatic betrayal, not a shocking discovery, something quieter, yet more powerful. One evening, Amara attended the wedding of a close friend. The celebration was beautiful. Families laughed together. Music filled the venue. People danced. Yet, throughout the event, she felt strangely emotional. As she watched the couple exchange vows, she found herself imagining her own future. And for the first time, she asked herself a question she had spent years avoiding. If nothing changes, am I willing to spend the rest of my life like this? Not the version of Chike she hoped it would become. Not the version she imagined. The actual version. The version she had known for years. The question sat heavily in her chest because deep down, she already knew the answer. Over the following weeks, she stopped focusing on explanations. She started focusing on patterns. Patterns told the story she could no longer ignore. The missed commitments, the defensiveness, the inconsistency, the unresolved concerns, the repeated disappointment. Individually, they seemed manageable. Collectively, they revealed a future she didn't want. Ending the relationship became one of the hardest decisions of her life. Not because she didn't see the problems, because she loved him despite them. Walking away required grieving not only the relationship, but also the future she had imagined. The wedding she pictured, the family she hoped to build, the years she invested, the dreams she carried, all of it. For months afterward, she questioned herself, wondered if she had expected too much, wondered if she made a mistake, wondered whether she should have stayed longer. But as time passed, something unexpected happened. Peace returned. The confusion disappeared. The constant anxiety faded. The emotional exhaustion lifted. And for the first time in years, she realized something important. The red flags had never been hidden. She had seen them all along. The real lesson wasn't about spotting warning signs. It was about trusting herself when she saw them. Welcome to the reflection segment. One thing that stood out to me in this story is that the night often looks very reasonable while we are inside it. Most people don't ignore red flags because they are foolish. They ignore them because they care, because they are hopeful, because they believe people deserve grace. Those qualities aren't weaknesses. In fact, they are beautiful qualities. The challenge is knowing where compassion should end and wisdom should begin. What makes this situation interesting is that Chike wasn't portrayed as an evil person. He had positive qualities. He cared about Amara. He had strengths. But relationships are not built on strength alone. They are built on patterns, and patterns matter. I think many people can relate to loving someone while simultaneously feeling uneasy about certain aspects of the relationship. Don't get me wrong. The question isn't whether someone has flaws. We all do. The question is whether those flaws are acknowledged, addressed, and improving over time. Another important lesson is that intuition often notices problems long before logic catches up. Sometimes the discomfort we feel isn't insecurity. Sometimes it's information. Information worth paying attention to. Here are some dream diary lessons. Love is powerful, but love should never replace wisdom. A healthy relationship requires both. Pay attention to patterns. Pay attention to consistency. Pay attention to actions, not just intentions. Because the future you are building will be shaped far more by what someone repeatedly does than by what they repeatedly promise. The right relationship shouldn't require you to constantly explain away your concerns. Sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is trust what they already know deep down. And that's today's dream diary lesson. Here are some community questions for our viewers. Number 1. Have you ever ignored red flags because you were hopeful things would improve? 2. What's the biggest warning sign people often overlook in relationships? And 3. Do you think love can sometimes make people stay longer than they should? Thank you for listening to today's story. If this episode resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective might help someone facing a similar situation. And if you're enjoying these stories, don't forget to subscribe and become part of the Dream Diary community. This is Dream Diary Podcast. Real stories, real lessons, real growth.